UFO disclosure is often imagined as a single, dramatic event, a craft under floodlights or a global presidential address. But the reality of government secrecy is far more tedious, buried in the slow grinding of administrative procedure. The public record contains a sharp internal conflict. While Congress passes laws specifically to handle the retrieval of non-human materials, official defense offices stand before empty briefing rooms to state they have found no evidence of extraterrestrial technology. The barrier to the truth isn't one massive lie told by a unified state. It is a fractured landscape of human factions, each possessing different fragments and hiding them from one another. This fragmentation begins with how we inform our leaders. A sitting president can be formally briefed on the phenomenon and still be functionally denied access to the actual hardware. The mechanism is a vocabulary trap. Using labels like unattributed advanced technology instead of alien craft, or biological anomalous entities instead of pilots, officials can issue legally accurate denials. They answer the specific noun used in the question, while the reality remains hidden. This linguistic evasion allows a retrieval program to evolve into a breakaway state, operating entirely outside the boundaries of the Constitution. Mapping this hidden architecture reveals that the U.S. Navy likely pioneered the first off-world expansion. They were the first human group to apply sealed undersea doctrine to the vacuum of deep space. Submarine culture is a logical foundation for a space fleet. These crews are already trained to live in artificial environments, powered by nuclear reactors, and operating in total silence without hope of immediate rescue. The oceans provide a decisive tactical advantage. Unlike traditional rockets that leave visible trails of fire and noise, the sea swallows evidence. A vessel can descend into a deep water facility and emerge into orbit without being detected by public sensors. While the Navy moved into the deep solar system, the Air Force developed a separate, more restricted program. Their focus remained on the high ground of the Earth-Moon system, guarding the orbital doorway and monitoring local traffic. This creates a strategic stalemate. The Navy claims the deep frontier, while the Air Force guards the gate. Both branches have become rival priesthoods, hoarding their own datasets and prioritizing service dominance over a unified human response. Neither side possesses the whole map, and that mutual ignorance ensures that no single commander on Earth has a complete view of the operational environment. The military provides the initial authority, but private aerospace contractors provide the continuity. They maintain the facilities and technical notebooks for decades, while government personnel rotate in and out of the program. This arrangement relies on custody laundering. By transferring physical materials into corporate cleanrooms, the hardware is reclassified as proprietary technology. This legally bypasses freedom of information laws and removes the artifacts from congressional oversight. The top schematic represents the original mystery. To ensure no single engineer understands the whole machine, companies use extreme compartmentalization. This isolation shatters the puzzle into disconnected cells. One studies whole material, another models flight controls, with zero communication. Even lead scientists remain ignorant. Turning the laws of physics into private trade secrets makes democratic oversight impossible. It forces humanity to pay rent on a reality that has been hidden from public science. This total breakdown in coordination reveals a pattern too efficient to be a byproduct of human greed alone. If every faction is given just enough technology to stay ahead of its rivals, but never enough to achieve independence, the result is permanent stalemate. This points toward a deliberate external influence. The strategy relies on fragmented truth. By feeding the Navy one version of the phenomenon and the Air Force another, and advanced non-human intelligence ensures that mutual suspicion prevents us from ever forming a unified assessment. This creates an international embargo based on fear. Rival superpowers possess their own fragments, yet they remain silent. They have become strategically dependent, terrified that disclosure will sever their access to these non-human sources. And advanced intelligence doesn't need to cross the galaxy to burn our cities. They can conquer by simply dividing our perceptual organs, ensuring that the planet never acts with a single, unified brain. Demanding a dramatic reveal is a distraction. If we wait for the gatekeepers to volunteer the truth, we will wait forever. The real path forward is a species-level audit. It begins inside institutions like the National Archives, focusing entirely on the physical chain of custody for recovered materials over the last 80 years. We have to map the bureaucratic shadows these objects cast. That means tracking special access budgets, reprogramming notices, and the specific contracting language used to hide procurement trails in private vaults. This audit requires conditional amnesty. Insiders need a legally protected route to move physical evidence from private corporate silos back into the public record. Without a path for those individuals to step forward, the hardware remains trapped. Disclosure is a grueling process of legal triage. It is the only way to reclaim our physical reality from unaccountable silos. Our institutions must reassert democratic oversight. No single military branch, defense contractor, or nation has the authority to negotiate with a non-human presence on behalf of the rest of the species. This requires a protocol for international verification. Rival nations must cross-check their own contact records to identify where they have been given contradictory data designed to foster conflict. The most significant discovery buried in these archives is the origin of our own internal conflicts. Our institutions were engineered into a state of permanent division to ensure we could never act as a single civilization. We have to stop asking for permission to believe. Humanity must integrate these hidden fragments and reclaim our planetary sovereignty.